right on track with updates happening in and around Nigeria. We bring you the newspaper review segment, and then we'll move into spring trends and quality conversation with our guests. And this is the second installment for the week. Thank you for joining us today.
All right, the newspaper segment is always a first point of call, as Tokwe said, and so we get straight right into it with the Nigerian Tribune for today. Nigerian Tribune newspaper, PFIPC used office space allocated to OSGF. That is coming from the HOS, not the head of station, but the head of service. PFIPC used office space allocated to OSGF, HOS. All right, and one will wonder if actually the investigations by the SCPC is what is revealing these, or everybody is just getting information, bit by bit. But we'll wait for the whole investigation by the SCPC. Riders, CBN opened 2 foreign current accounts. Again, CBN opened 2 foreign currency accounts, but they remained inactive. Refs invite finance, justice, budget ministers, IGP, FCC, RMFAC chairman, others. But Jabia Miller appears before ICPC. All right, police detained 4 cops over extortion of ICPC chairman. Dangote marketers feud heat fuel supply, consumers bear the brunt, obviously. And pandemonium in Oshobo as protesters shot motor parks over violence. Quite unfortunate, the scenes that greeted that particular incident yesterday. We learned normalcy has been restored. Now we hope status quo is maintained. Health. Just 30 minutes of inactivity may raise cancer death risk. Researchers, so please get active. And fractional crisis, fate of nearly 3,000 PDP, LP, SDP candidates uncertain. Parties upload Guba, State Assembly, list to INEC portal. And Article 6 probe of unexplained 12.8 trillion naira in 2026 budget says Nigeria's hardship consequences of Tinubu's policies. ADC wants a full account of 7.1 trillion naira energy security spending. And top strip, many feared dead as boat capsizes in Jigawa. And Bonham, new UK PM unveils 10-year plan, begins cabinet overhaul. Good luck to Mr.
See a code. 143 firms battle for 50 oil blocks today. 143 firms battle for 50 oil blocks today. You can find that on page 19 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And right here, inflation above 30% in United States. FCT despite national easing. Life sentence for Ansari commanders linked to Oyo abduction. That's the details of that as on page 9. And right there you can see a picture just down here. Those headlines make the face of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, from the Punch newspaper, let's see the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun. Terrorism. Nigerians cheer as Ansaru commanders bag life jail. Life jail for killers. All right. Herders, farmers trade blames over fresh clash in Plateau. And below that, you have an array of lady and gentlemen there. We are Kwemi Bamidele, Deputy Speaker, Kwemi Bamidele, Senate Leader, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Bafemi Hamzat, and other persons, attended a book presentation, and of course they were all holding a copy of the book. Moving on, Atiku lambasts federal government over concealment of 12.8 trillion naira under service-wide vote in 2026 budget, and court grants Miyetti Allah leader Bodejo 2 billion naira bail. Ex-Warri Refinery MD Yisau 500 million naira. Police detains 4 officers for extorting 53,000 naira from ICPC chairman. Really? It's quite audacious. Jigawa mourns as 40 die in boat capsize. Most victims women and children. You know, we have lost the count. I have personally lost the count of times on this desk, in this place, on this program that we have, you know, over the time, reel out figures of deaths from the capsizing of boats, especially most incidents usually occur around the northern part of the country. And when you hear some of the reasons is usually overloading of the boat, a vessel or boat, wooden boats sometimes, or those small engine boats that are supposed to have capacity of maybe 20. You see 40 people, 50 people, in it, and most of the times without life jackets. And so when the river billows, trouble happens. It's quite unfortunate. 40 people, and of course they can only count 40 because of recovered body. Until a body is recovered, that's when you can make it count. It's quite unfortunate. The Nigerian Inland Waterways Agency have a lot to do. All the states inland waterways agencies have a lot of work to do, especially in the place of enforcement. And I'll see pushes for new minimum wage. Union President Ajero says new wage for workers unavoidable. Okay, so how would they go about it? We'll wait to see. And lastly, on the front page of the Daily Sun for today, Shatima to South Africa. Nigerian student funded your freedom. And I think that's how to call it, really. That's it. The president, represented by the vice president, spoke at an EU summit or ECOWAS meeting somewhere in Sierra Leone yesterday. And I had to say it, and he called on his African brothers to speak up. Silence on this matter is complicity. This is not the time for some phony diplomacy. Speak to them, and Nigeria spoke, at least for the first time in that kind of a meeting. I love the tone, because it's more like, we are the ones who helped you. Nigerian students funded the freedom you are having. All of a sudden, you are, having a go at us in this manner. We should be handled. That'll be all from the Daily Sun.
All right, so with that, we've come to the end of the newspaper review segment for this morning. A quick breather. We return the joint Spring Trends.
Western Spring Television. Engaging, vivacious, interactive. For this picture, where I make you follow Unorodo. Nigeria don't go digital with free TV. Over 100 channels they wait you, sport, news, and better entertainment for your own language. No matter where you dey, whether for city or whether for village, the satellite signal they reach every corner of Nigeria from day one. No monthly payment again. Once you get a free to air decoder, you don't win. This one, not our own national asset. Even from your phone, you fit watch am. Just download the free TV app and carry your TV go anywhere you dey go. Scan that code now or call 0700 388 7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by MBC.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Illegal bushmeat is not cool, but it's on sale in our cities, risking extinction and our health. And many of our
Thank you for staying with us in the lines of Femi Ojo whenever he comes on air. And that's on the notes I'm starting this morning on Spring Trend segments here on Morning Spring, Western Spring Television, where we get to bring you stories as we have them on our social media handles. Viral videos, trending posters, you know. Social media users get to engage and weigh in their opinions and, you know, everything they've got to see. Their point of views as regards the stories we have posted by different social media users as well on the social media. My name is Olufemi Alabi. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the segment of Spring Trend for today. Femi and Tokpa right here in the studios as well to weigh in their opinions as regards the stories we have for you for today. Good morning, Femi. Good morning, Tokpa.
Morning. I like to ask what I do.
All right, let's get straight into the conversation this morning. All right, let's start with this. Actually, on a very serious level, it's looking as if the issues of clashes and, you know, a lot of injuries and even deaths as we approach the August 15 governorship election here in Osun State is like looking far from ending. However, we just hope that this comes to stop. There's this particular video that has been going viral on social media as regards a clash between rival groups as a result of, you know, the occupation of motorbike, having control of various motor parks particularly in the state capital here in Osun State, Osogbo, and these clashes have been causing a lot of injuries to lives. Get to watch the video, and then we get to look at reactions as regarding this particular one. Stay with us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, very disturbing there. You could hear the gunshots and all that, all because you want to take control of motor parks, usually called garage in this part of the world. And, you know, you could hear that gunshots, you could see all the smokes all around, people running helter-skelter, running to safety and all that. And really, it's a very disturbing one. Let me start with Femi on this. I don't know if you can actually recognize that very particular motor park there, and you could see a very disturbing incidents. Your take on this?
It is, of course, except you don't live in Oshobo. You will know that the Freedom Park area, that old garage of these before now quiet and Oshobo, which has now become an activity, a scene of activities of violence, gang wars, destructions of properties. One would think before now it was about political violence, but since last week, or some would say maybe even more, it has taken another violence. Well, maybe there are political undertones to that, but when you see violent individuals attack people, attack properties, irrespective of who has that property, they just go on with that. So yesterday, you know, different reports. Some wanted to take over a park, NURTW, Wahala, you know, all of those things. But what we saw there is quite shameful. It's quite unnecessary, actually. And you can see gunshots going off, and of course, firing of canisters. I mean, tear gas canisters, of course, to douse the tension. Before I learned the military came into the matter and then settled the whole thing. But that would not have gone without panic, without traumatic experience for some person. In fact, one thing that I personally thank God for yesterday was the fact that the exams are over. Pupils and students are not really, you know, on the street, because they will have been so confused as to what to do and what not to do at that point. But that doesn't mean that some other persons who have left their wares yesterday to run away, giving chance for looters, because there will have been looting in that place, stealing, robbery of some kind, because life is sacred. You have your adrenaline. The first thing your moons will tell your flight is to take you to flight. At that point, before you come back, many things will have happened. Some will still be, you know, trying to now find themselves through what has happened because of something that is not their fault. Just because some person just decide to move mad. And I think this should be prevented. Intelligence community should please help in Osun State to prevent. You know, it's part of intelligence work to prevent. Not just to do investigation later to apprehend. No, let's prevent it. This is the reason for actionable, this is the time for actionable intelligence, so that these things are foiled before people. Somebody could have gotten an heart attack yesterday. All right, somebody could have run and fall inside gutter or a drainage or break a leg or something just because some persons want to move, man. The state government has reacted to it, but in all of it, my own take on this program this morning is let intelligence agencies help us to
prevent it,
to apprehend, to foil, rather than allow it to happen and
then
now want to rein in
different investigations and all that.
It's quite unfortunate.
Your take on this, you can see that video there and all that people, you know, it's a sad situation.
All right, this is a very terrible time in our democracy, in our society, and for the security agencies, particularly this morning. My word is to them. Besides all of the controversies, all of the talks and statements that you may deem not right or untrue, signals are showing that whatever it is, barring all political statements out of it, you're not really on top of your game. And that's to talk about prevention, really. When things like this are happening, people talk about what then are security agencies doing? Is there a synergy among the security agencies in the state? And then after this, what are we going to hear of the people who have perpetrated this particular disturbing act in our society? Those are the questions that are cropping up, and it will do well to the police and every other security agency in the state to fish out the culprits and make them face the law.
And that's that about that. However, just to like a response to this very particular clash and all that, and the reoccurrence of, deaths as we approach the governorship election. Before I get to the birthday story there, let's go to this one as posted by the Yoruba Times, where we have this breaking news. Oshomoto Parks erupts in angry protests over rising killings, and as posted by Yoruba Times, you can have it on the wall there. Furious transporters and residents have shut down major parks in Osun State, as you can see, as posted by there, demanding immediate action from the IGP over the wave of killing terrorizing the state. Protesters are calling for the arrests and prosecution of those behind the violence, with fingers pointed to Nuruddin Alowenle, as posted there by the Yoruba Times. You can have it on the screen there for our viewers to get to see that very particular post, and you can see pictures of people carrying placards and all getting to show that very particular one. Let's have the post. All right, let's get to watch the video to see the protest, then you get to see the post as well. Just I've read it out here on X. Get to watch the video. And that's the post there. Yes, Femi, you would like to say something about that very particular video there.
You see the movement here about, do I say factional now, or a purported leader of NURTW and his boys, and of course you could see agents of the Nigerian state there. Those are not just regular military or police, they are, special squad, because see the tags and of course see the dressing. That means it has the cover.
The backing,
well, we might not call it backing, so to speak. At least he has the cover of those guys, and those guys are
for them to be with him
of the state. Like 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, at least 4 could be seen in that particular that are wearing uniform. Maybe there might be others that are not wearing uniform, protecting that person's interest, and it's quite unfortunate. I don't have any issues with how the park people do their business, but let it be peaceful. Let it be peaceful, irrespective of any political undertone. Do your work, but history will always say most park takeover or change of guards is always violence. Most times, and maybe this is what is trying to happen, but they should do better. But now when you have agents of the state fully armed to the teeth, following this individual to protect whatever interest is going to do, the jury is in the open. People can make the call themselves.
That's that. Tope, your take on this. If I can have that very particular post as posted by the Yoruba Times on the screen there, that would be very helpful. Tope, you can see that very post as I read. If the director can put it on the screen where it was posted, and they were saying that the fingers have been pointed to Nuruddin Alowonle and all that. I can see Femi talking about that. This is more like a faction taking out a protest. Your take on that, Tope?
It's still the same thing we're saying over and over again. We keep repeating all of this non-political, right? But that have been fingered with associations with political parties are the ones, eventually they'll come out and say it's a cult clash and all of these things. But this is not looking like. We've mentioned the NURTW here. We know how some figures right there linked to different political parties have been clashing over the years. And this time around, because it's an election year, it's becoming more and more significant. It's showing more and more that there is no peace right here at the center. And we hope that security agencies, because we keep talking about security agencies, look at some of them right here in this video. And this is just a show of shame, really. And we hope that whoever is hearing us now, the IGP, DG, Southwest, whoever that have been here, that they see things for themselves and really, really be on top of this matter.
All right, so that's that about that. Let's move away from Osun State. Let's get to talk all the matters. However, let's talk about theft before we end it up on a good note, celebrating a birthday this morning. You know, somebody said something, and it has been trend. It has been like a cliche now that if you steal in this season, your talent will show. People go use you for content, and you know, there are some persons that if they steal, they will ask them to start dancing. If you steal, they can actually start playing drums. The talent that is hidden in you, that will have given you money, will finally end up showing, and maybe you'll be doing it for free rather than collecting some extra changes and all that. However, on a twist, this person was seen as posted, as you can see on the screen here, posted by Somto Konko, saying, young man drove off with a Mercedes-Benz during a test drive at a car dealership. 3 days later, he was tracked down and apprehended. Just a shame that we didn't get to see. Maybe he was asked to show his talents there. Or maybe one of these days we'll get to. But, well, it's not something to be proud of, you know, getting to catch you to be a thief or getting to be kleptomanic, and in the end, your talent is discovered. No, it's a terrible thing. I have a lot of people have reacted to that very particular one with some comments that we have here. We have this one from Oli Vivian Adeobi, says, all these young boys should take life easy. Life no be like this. They are always allowing pressures to get to them, always trying to please who no send their papa. Nobody wants to work, but they want to chop. Go easy. Well, that's an angle they're talking about. Maybe it's pressure that made him to go to a dealer, pick a car to test drive, and from there, vroom, it disappeared. We have Nuga here saying it wasn't even up to 3 days. Okay, it'd be like, say this one, get better update. He drove off with the Mercedes from the dealership yesterday afternoon, and by evening, he was already caught in Uni Abuja, reviving the engine of the stolen car with some hard laughing emojis there. If like say they track him down, they locked the car, maybe, I don't know. So he was trying to revive it and he was caught. And let me check this one from William. Says, all because of pressure. The way young men and women pressure themselves just to look like big boy and big girls on TikTok is crazy. And you know, that's an angle there. I don't know if I can have dinero also here. Yeah, I've got it here. But he said, but wait, so these dealers put trackers inside car, and when person buy the car, they won't remove? This is bad, because they can kidnap the owner or set the buyer up. Okay, that's another angle to that. Before I come to Femi on this, I can see Femi laughing. Let me start with you. A person goes to a dealer, he wants to test run the car and decides to just, maybe his instincts tells him, you don't go far now, just vroom, and he leaves. However, he could not escape. He was caught. The person who posted it said 3 days later, somebody gave an update that he did it in the afternoon, and by the following day, he was trying to revive the car at Uni Abuja, and he was caught. Your take on this, Doctor?
Okay, if you have a business, your first instinct to be to secure your assets in your business. And so if there was a tracker, if maybe the tracker helps, then that's good. But like someone has rightly observed, that will not be good if the person has bought the vehicle. So in this regard, I don't think that the dealer has done anything bad. But if a person has paid, then that tracker should be off, or at least it should be notified, and probably controls will change hands at that point. But for the thief, I believe that it was his time. They say every day is for the owner, and every day is for the thief, and one day, just one day, is for the owner. So that's
all right, Femi, your take on this very particular one, and you know, people are talking about is pressure, or some people go to steal, to thief things just to look big and all that. Your take on this, Femi?
Well, I think it's quite silly, actually, for whatever spirit entered the guy, that he felt like, you know, when they say raise arm, you're supposed to raise it and get out of the car. It's quite unfortunate. That person get T for I, actually. But it's good that the car was gotten, that by a tracker or whatever. But for the person who commented and said, oh, for kidnapping, for no, calm down. Don't let's go too far with this conspiracy theory. It's called test driving. You have not taken ownership. But the moment you are through or you like the car and transaction is completed,
you can seal the deal.
Ownership will be transferred to you. Every other thing will be rectified and you take the ownership. So it's called test driving. Let our people just relax, all right? But it's quite unfortunate. Just for test driving, you took off with it. 3 days later, technology had to be, you know, used to, you know, put off the engines, and you even wanted to revive it. So that's not a mistake. It's a thief. But the lawyers will say a suspect, actually,
until proven guilty. As posted. If we have it on the wall, where we have a businesswoman Folorunsho Alakija celebrates her 75th birthday. You can see the video. They get to watch the video to see the glamour, to see the aesthetics and all around that very particular 75th celebration. Stay with us.
That does not depreciate. Heavenly Father, thank you for all that you mean to me, for all that you do for me, for all that you have done in my life, for all that you have done in the lives of every member of my family. We couldn't have done it without you.
That's there, you know, the celebration, the all that, and you can see at 75 still strong and agile, bouncing, and looking great. Happy birthday from all of us here, Western Spring Television. We also celebrate you, you know, talking about that very particular. I'll just pick one post, a comment here on X where this user, Jerubal Ali, says, a remarkable milestone for Laurusha Alakija, with some celebration emojis here. Her journey in business, philanthropy, and the service continues to inspire many across Africa. Wishing her more years of impact, wisdom, and success. And, you know, that's that on that very particular one there. Femi, your take on, you know, celebrating Florence Alakija on her 75th birthday.
I think she deserves everything. 75, accomplished woman, business mogul by every means and standard, actually. At a time, the richest woman in the world, actually. How do you know about now? But beyond that, our philanthropy gesture is quite commendable. And even here in Osun State, many persons can attest to that, especially to education, to tertiary education. I'm narrowing down to Uni Osun, you know, what class, you know. So it's not just about her money or about the fame. She is even a clergy, actually, and these are the kind of persons that, you know, that narrative of people turn to pastors because of what they want to eat. You can't use that toga on Alakija because you wonder which. Where did she define again? Telling you, but you know, she has done well. She is a beacon of hope and the can-do spirit and what God can make out of a man's life. And when I mean a man, I mean human being. In this case, a woman who has done well for herself, and she's not narrowing it down. You need to see the quality of people in that room. Please, I could see
the former vice president was there.
Yemi Oshibaji, all the elegant women and men as well. So, congratulations to Mama Alakija.
Talk about your take quickly on this very 75th birthday of.
Big congratulations to the woman of God.
Okay. All right, congratulations to her. Yeah, but there's things to say to that.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Congratulations to her and from all of us here at Western Spring Television. Wishing her the best, and you know, it as the Holy Book will say, as your days are, so will your strength be. And that's why we're wrapping it up on the segment on the spring trend here on Morning Spring, Western Spring Television. Catch up with us on our social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok with Western Spring Television, and our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television, Western Spring Television NG. I am Olufemi Olagbe. I'll see you all tomorrow.